A long time ago, in a quiet village, surrounded by thick forests and big mountains, there lived a good hunter named Okeke. Okeke was loved by everyone because he was kind, brave, and always shared the meat he hunted with the poor. But Okeke had one secret: sadness. He had no child. Every day, Okeke and his wife prayed to the gods. "Please, bless us with a child," they begged. For many years, they waited. Then one night, while Okeke was sleeping under a tree in the forest, he had a dream. In the dream, the gods of the land spoke to him. "You have been good, Okeke," they said. "You will have a daughter. She will be beautiful like the sun." True to the gods' words, Okeke's wife finally became pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. They named her Chinaza, which means God answers. Chinaza grew to be the most beautiful girl in the village. Her skin was smooth like palm oil. Her eyes shined like the stars, and her hair was long and black like the night sky. People came from far places just to see her. But as Chinaza grew older, her heart changed. She became proud of her beauty. Many young men came to ask for her hand in marriage. Some were strong farmers, others were brave hunters, and some were rich traders. But Chinaza said no to all of them. "This one's eyes is too big," she would say. "Oh, this one is too short. That one's voice is too deep. I don't like him." No man was ever good enough for her. Okeke and his wife were worried. "Chinaza, you must not let pride blind you," they warned. But she didn't listen. The gods watched from above. They were not happy with Chinaza. They had blessed her family, and now she looked down on others. So one day, they called a spirit from the ghost land, the land of the dead. His name was Obidia, a clever ghost with no body. He had no eyes, no ears, no hand, no leg, nothing. But the gods gave him a mission. "Go and marry Chinaza. Teach her a lesson." So Obidia went from spirit to spirit in the ghost land and begged, "Please lend me your eyes, I want to see. Please lend me your nose, I want to smell. Please lend me your skin, I want to look handsome." One by one, the spirit gave him their body parts. When Obidia was done, he looked like the most handsome man in the world. He wore shiny clothes, had a golden voice, and walked like a king. When he came into the village market, the sun seems to shine brighter. Chinaza saw him and her heart melted. "This is the one," she said. "He is perfect." Okeke and his wife were surprised, but they were happy. At last, their daughter has finally found a perfect man. The wedding was big and beautiful. After the wedding, Obidia told Chinaza, "Now let me take you to my home." So they started their journey. They walked far, far away from the village. They crossed river, climbed hills, and entered a deep forest. When they reached a strange land, the sky was always gray. The trees had no leaves. The wind whispered strange things. "Where are we?" Chinaza asked. Obidia smiled. We are in my home. Chinaza's eyes grew wide with fear. Suddenly, his nose fell off. Then his ears dropped. His arms vanished. His skin peeled off. One by one, all the body parts that made him beautiful disappeared. Chinaza screamed, "Who are you?" Obidia's voice echoed, "I am a ghost. You chose my beauty, not my heart. Now you must live with me in the land of the dead." Chinaza fell to her knees crying. Chinaza cried and begged, "Please let me go back home. I don't want to stay here." But the ghost Obidia shook his head. "You were not looking for a kind heart or a good man. You wanted a perfect face. Now you must stay with me." Chinaza looked around. Everything was cold and dark. The ground was made of bones. Strange creatures walked with no feet. Some had no faces. Others floated in the air like smoke. She was very afraid. "Can I see my parents?" she asked. Obidia laughed. "No one comes to the land of the dead and returns, unless the gods allowed it." Chinaza began to cry again. For the first time, she wished she had listened to her parents. She remembered the kind farmers, the strong hunters, and the traders who came to marry her. None of them looked as good as Obidia, but they were real and they were kind. Now she was married to a ghost and she didn't even know what he really looked like. But just when all hope was gone, a soft wind blew. A bright light appeared in the sky. It was the gods. They had been watching everything. A woman with a crown of stars came down and stood before Chinaza. "Chinaza," she said gently, "you have learned your lesson. Do you now understand that beauty on the outside is not as important as beauty in the heart?" Chinaza nodded, tears rolling down her face. "Yes, great one. I was proud and foolish. Please forgive me." The goddess looked at Obidia. "You have done your job well. Now return." Obidia bowed and vanished in a swirl of wind. The goddess turned to Chinaza. "You will give me one promise. We will give you one more chance, but only if you promise to use your story to teach others." "I promise," Chinaza cried. "I will never forget." The lights grew brighter. The sky turned blue. Chinaza closed her eyes. When she opened them, she was back in her village. But something was different. People were gathered around her. Okeke, her father, was holding her hands. "Chinaza, you disappeared immediately after your marriage ritual, without saying goodbye. We thought we had lost you forever," he cried. Chinaza looked around and saw the people she once looked down on. She bowed her head and said, "I have a story to tell you, a story that will change your life." And so Chinaza began to speak. The whole village gathered around as Chinaza stood in the village square. Her voice was soft at first, but as she spoke, it grew stronger. She told them everything about the ghost, the strange land, and the fallen body parts, and the lesson the gods had taught her. The people listened in silence, even the children sat still. When she finished, Chinaza looked at the crowd and said, "From today, I will not look down on anyone again. I have seen with my own eyes that beauty fades, but a good heart last forever. Her father Okeke had tears in his eyes. Her mother hugged her tightly. Everyone in the village forgave her because they saw that she had truly changed. From that day, Chinaza became known as the wise beauty. She welcomed suitors with open eyes and an open heart. This time, she looked not at the faces, but at the kindness, respect, and honesty. Each man had to suffer. After some time, she chose a man named Ikenna, a humble young teacher who helped children read and write. He wasn't the tallest or the richest, but he had the purest heart. Chinaza and Ikenna got married in a simple but joyful ceremony, and they lived happily ever after. The end.